Everyone wants to become fluent in English. They practice more, they learn more, yet they do not make so much progress. Even though they're practicing, they're spending countless hours doing the thing, but still they do not feel a lot of progress. And that is because for a lot of us, it is not how many hours we spend practicing, but how we practice that is going to guarantee the progress that we need in order to become fluent in English. And that means we might have some mistakes in how we practice our English. There could be some flaws, some shortages that we always constantly do that is preventing us from becoming actually fluent in English. And in this video, I'll share two of the most common problems that people have that are holding them back from becoming fluent in English. So stay tuned until the end, because it is you who is probably practicing your English every single day, spending hours, but still you're not improving. These two problems could be your problems that is holding you from becoming fluent in English. So the first mistake that you're probably making and that is stopping you from becoming fluent in English is that you're being inconsistent in your practices. So inconsistency in your practices means that you're having huge gaps in between each of your practicing sessions. For example, you're probably practicing English on the first day of the month for 6 or 7 hours, and then you practice again on the 10th day of the month. And you have 10 days of gap in between each of your practicing sessions. So this is how you burn out. This is how you overexhaust yourself, your body organs, especially your brain, with practicing for hours and hours and without having a logical reason of why you're doing so. And this is going to lead to a sense of not being able to see your progress. Why? Because when you exhaust yourself, when you exhaust your brain by practicing for hours, especially without having a pause, a break in between, then your whole body organs, especially your brain, your learning center, stops working. And it stops learning more, it stops attracting more, grabbing more, and as a result, you stop learning more. And guess what happens when you stop learning? It turns into frustration because you are not seeing any results of your efforts. Even though you put in hours, huge efforts, hours of efforts, and still you're not seeing any results from your efforts. And that's going to lead to frustration. You get frustrated, you ask yourself, why am I not improving? What's the point of practicing more if I'm not improving? And you kind of sometimes even take a very lower look on yourself, and you observe yourself as somebody who is very weak at learning, and you kind of give yourself bad nicknames for not learning more, and all of these problems arrive. However, there's a much bigger problem of getting frustrated. It is going to lead to a sense of disappointment. You no longer see your progress. You no longer want to try more because you're not seeing improvement. You're not seeing any point of practicing more because there are no results. And it is a natural human feeling that we always want to see some form of result in the future, and that's why we try, that's why we put in effort, that's why we exhaust ourselves by practicing more, because we're seeing something ahead. If there's nothing ahead, then we don't try, then we don't put in efforts. So if you're not improving, you as a human being stop practicing more. And guess what happens as a result of it? You will stop practicing more and you will no longer be on the track towards improvement and forget about learning English. And there's also countless scientific research on how consistency helps people build and become better, and how inconsistency is very bad for people who are looking forward to improve. So if you're actually looking forward to improve in your English journey, make sure that you're actually doing small and being consistent. It doesn't matter if you're practicing for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or 20 minutes on a daily basis. Just make sure that you're doing it every single day without having a pause or without having any form of break. So that is called consistency, and that is going to turn into a huge pile of progress in the future. It's going to accumulate to become a huge mountain of progress for you in the future, and that is going to make you proud of yourself, and that is going to make you actually fluent in English. The second mistake that you're probably doing on your English journey is that you're actually relying on motivation. Motivation is something that gives you a good mood. It really pushes your limbs to practice more, to do more, and it is a good thing. It is overall a good feeling. However, the problem with motivation is that it is something seasonal. It is not going to be here forever. Like sometimes, let's say in the morning, you have the motivation to practice more and your brain is very comfortable, it is relieved because you slept last night and everything is cool for you to practice, and you're super motivated to practice your English in the morning. However, when it comes the time to practice in the evening or even at noon, you do not have the motivation. The feeling inside you is telling you that you're not ready to practice, that you don't want to practice, that you don't feel like it to practice. And that is a seasonal thing. So motivation is actually a seasonal thing. Seasonal means it's not going to be here forever. It's going to be here only for some amount of time that is going to disappear for the rest of the time. So that means you're going to be left alone by yourself, and you start to procrastinate on your English practices. And the result of procrastination is so clear and obvious. It is going to lead to a sense of deprivation, to a sense of frustration and disappointment because you are not improving. And if you're not improving, you will not practice. And if you do not practice, then progress is going to be just a dream for you. If you take care of these two problems, the problem of overexhausting yourself so much that you become disappointed and frustrated of yourself, and also the problem of procrastinating so much that you do not even see a point and you stop becoming disappointed and frustrated. If you take care of these two problems, then be sure that you will eventually become fluent in English, because balance is the thing that you need in order to become successful in the whole areas of life, especially in this area that you're trying to do, which is improving and becoming fluent in English. So fluency is not something magical. It is something that people have achieved over time. So it is something that people did consistently, and they did not hesitate to practice even for a single day. So that is where fluency kicks in. That is where you'll start to become better and fluent and take over the whole English language overall.